Petra Kvitova vs Sofia Kenin WTA Miami Open Tennis Live. Kvitova tries to avoid back-to-back defeats to American teenagers. Two-time Wimbledon champion Petra Kvitova is out to make the round of 16 at the Miami Open for just the second time in her career on Sunday, but must be wary of the threat of quietly rising American qualifier Sofia Kenin. Despite the shock exits of the top two seeds, Simona Halep and Caroline Wozniacki, at the hands of Agnieszka Radwanska and Monica Puig, plenty of top stars remain in the women's draw, with former champions Radwanska and Victoria Azarenka set to face off in the fourth round, as are Wimbledon champion Garbine Muguruza and Sloane Stephens, while Karolina Pliskova and Angelique Kerber have also made the last 16. Kvitova is just one of the top names bidding to join them from the bottom half of the draw on Sunday, alongside three-time winner Venus Williams, fourth seed Alina Svitolina and French Open champion Jelena Ostapenko, a potential fourth-round opponent for Kvitova, should both women make it through their third-round matches. American hard courts in general, with the exception of New Haven, where Kvitova has won the title 3 times, have never been a particularly fruitful surface for the Czech. She's made the quarterfinals of Indian Wells twice, but her record at the Miami Open is even less impressive, with just one quarterfinal showing in 8 appearances. That came back in 2014, when the 8th-seeded Kvitova beat Anna Ivanovic before losing to Maria Sharapova. Kvitova has only played the Miami Open once since she missed the event in 2015, part of a decision she made to skip 6 weeks or so of competition as she struggled with the after-effects of mononucleosis, lost in the third round in 2016 to Ekaterina Makarova, and then missed the event again in 2017 as she recovered from the career-threatening knife injuries she sustained to her left hand during a home invasion the previous December. Of all the remarkable aspects of Kvitova's life and career, it's definitely one of the more incredible that we are back, just over a year since tendons in her playing hand were sliced through, to talking about Czech's tennis and to talking about her as a contender for big titles. But that's where we are. After a disappointing January, Kvitova went on an 11-match winning spree that saw her capture back-to-back titles at the St. Petersburg Ladies Trophy and the Premier 5 Qatar Total Open in Doha, scoring 6 wins over top 10 players on her way to the 21st and 22nd titles of her career. Nobody came into Indian Wells in better form, but Kvitova was stopped short in the third round by American teenager Amanda Anisimova, who beat her 6-2, 6-4 and snapped her winning streak at 12 matches. That doesn't bode particularly well for a third-round match-up in Miami with another American teenager, 19-year-old Sofia Kenin. Miami Open 2018 Livestream, WTA Tennis Live from Miami. A former U.S. Open Junior champion back in 2016, Kenin recorded a stellar 47-28 season in 2017, predominantly playing ITF events, which saw her reach 3 finals and no fewer than 7 semi-finals as she pulled herself up over 100 places in the rankings from world number 214 to world number 110. Kenin failed to qualify for every WTA Tour event she attempted, although she did reach the third round at the U.S. Open, and her challenge in 2018 is clearly to carve out a niche for herself at WTA Tour level. Granted a wild card into the ASB Classic in Auckland to start the year, Kenin made a bright start when she beat Jana Fett and seasoned pro Varvara Lepchenko to make her first WTA quarterfinal, losing to Wozniacki. But she was ousted by Julia Gorges in the first round of the Australian Open, and then struggled for wins at ITF level, losing in the first round of Newport Beach and failing to win back-to-back matches at the Midland $100,000 or Indian Wells 125K. Kenin did have a very good run at the BNP Paribas Open proper, beating 3 excellent opponents, Sabine Lisicki, Vera Lapko and Janina Wickmeyer, to reach the main draw and then beating Claire Liu to make the second round before falling to Zhang Shuai. The American rose into the top 100 for the first time in her career as a result, but didn't rest on her laurels, promptly moving on to the Miami Open and qualifying for the main draw again with wins over Ann Lee, Salon Bonaventure, and Katie Boulter. Kenin beat fellow qualifier Stephanie Vogla in the first round and then scored a very big victory over Daria Kasatkina in 3 sets to make the third round for the first time. Kasatkina was no doubt physically and emotionally fatigued after her splendid run to the Indian Wells final, but nevertheless it was the first top 20 win of Kenin's career, only the second time she's beaten a player ranked inside the world's top 50, and as such a major milestone for the young player. Kvitova also had to go to 3 sets when she opened her Miami Open campaign after a first-round bye, pushed all the way by rising young Belarusian Aryna Sabalenka, one of the hardest-hitting players on tour. Kvitova and Sabalenka traded punishing blows for just over 2 hours before the Czech finally got the ascendancy in the third set and managed to hang on to the advantage enough to go over the line, although the match ended on a slightly controversial note, with Kvitova hitting an ace on match point which Sabalenka strongly felt was out, but had no more challenges to force a Hawkeye review. It was, incidentally, out by 11 mm, and had to accept the match going to Kvitova with a 7-5, 3-6, 6-3 scoreline. Kenin will pose a very different challenge from Sabalenka, and potentially a more difficult one. The American has a more balanced game, one which won't let her blow Kvitova away, a difficult thing to do at the best of times, but will keep her from generating the kind of unforced error numbers that Sabalenka, or indeed the Czech, routinely does. Kvitova does have a power advantage, as she does over most players, and the match will be on her racket, but she'll have to produce a calm, disciplined, aggressive but patient performance to make the round of 16, something she doesn't always excel at doing in these conditions. With Kvitova's poor record in Miami, an upset is distinctly possible. Kvitova vs Kenin. Miami Open Tennis is live from Miami on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. local / 12:30 p.m. BST.